Hi everyone. I was hoping to not have to put our course online this week, but that didn't work out. So here is the video that will help you work through this week's materials. You'll also have a video for weeks 4 and 5. Just a reminder that we will be online for weeks 3 and weeks 5. Week 4, we will not have any online. I will actually be out, and so I will not do a video for week 4, but I will hopefully capture what you need to do in this video and the one for week 5. So um, just wrapping up from last week, you actually did some looking at science safety, and you created a reading response in the form of a project and posted that. So just to what we would have covered in class had we been in person is we would have talked about the NGSS a little more. And so looking at this standard, this is the standard we're going to use to actually plan our first lesson, which will be on environmental education. And so I want you to just take a look at this standard. There are some questions that I was going to have you respond to in class, in person. So I think what I'll have you do is just all contribute to this document. So you're going to give your input into this document, and so hopefully by the time all of you have responded, we will have a pretty good compilation of what the answers are to these questions. So please contribute to at least a couple of the questions. I'll be able to see that via the history of the document and see that you contributed. So that's your first task this week, is to really look over the standard and then respond to the Google Doc answer or questions and in the Google Drive. And you will have multiple students responding on this. So don't make a copy, go ahead and respond on the original. So that's in the Google Drive. I'll link that to our Canvas site, or sorry, our to-do list, so that you can link on or click on that link for the week 4 to-do list. So that is it for week 3. The other thing I would suggest is just taking a look at this 5E model of instruction document and just start getting familiar with, again, how do we use the 5Es? Because remember, we're going to use these when we plan lessons going forward. Okay, so that is week 3. And wrapping up, so week 4, you're going to be looking at science inquiry and start to get more familiar with that. So I have some resources I want you to look at, read through, skim, and then a video to watch about inquiry and how do we do inquiry, what's the difference between inquiry and other forms of teaching. And so take a look at these resources under week 4, and then your assignment for week 4 is going to be to complete this inquiry reading response. So if you take a look here, you also have choices this week about how you complete that. So you can do a reflection. That was also an option last week. You can do design an inquiry activity for your elementary classroom using a lesson plan, so no more than 2 pages. So you will actually submit a lesson plan that engages students in some form of science inquiry. And then the last one is create an annotated resource bibliography with at least 7 resources. So these can include a couple of the ones I provided on Canvas, but I want most of those to be your own, and they should include a description of the resource and how you can use it in your classroom. So there are examples. So if we go back to the Google Drive and actually go to week 4, you will see that there are examples of annotated bibliographies and also example of inquiry lessons. So take a look at those to see what other students have done in the past if you're confused about how to complete that assignment. So that is the official assignment for week 4, but I also on the to-do list, I'm going to pull that up now. So this is the to-do list for week 4. I'm sorry. Let's look at the to-do list for week 3. This is week 3. And so moving forward, so for week 3 and the assignments for next week, you're going to complete the science inquiry materials. I'm going to pull this up in a different way so you can see it a little better. Okay. And then that is due by October 18th. Look over the PLT activities in your PLT book that you got last week. choose a PLT activity that is aligned with this standard. So I also want you to go and take a look at this standard that's in the Google Drive. Again, you had some questions that you were responding to. And then you're going to go through the Project Learning Tree book and review all the activities. See if you can find one that aligns with this standard that you'll be able to present to your group and discuss next week. You'll have to actually, we'll be facilitating an online discussion with that. And your group will pick one of those lessons to move forward with in terms of planning your first lesson. So go through, pick one that you like, and be ready to present it to your group. There is a opportunity for you to just use remember that Leon kind of showed us how to use the Project Wild guide. You're going to use the same tools for Project Learning Tree when you pick your activities. So look for activities that are appropriate for looking at adaptation and how animals survive in their environments. Think about an outdoor activity that you could possibly adapt, because this one will be an outdoor lesson. So as you use the indexes and the table of contents, that might help you narrow it down. And again, all you need to do is just choose one for this week that you like and be ready to present it next week. And that will be covered in next week's video. And so sorry I will miss seeing you this week. If you get a chance, you can go by and take a look at your columns, your density columns, see how those ended up coming out, and update your data sheet. If you don't have time, we can address that when we get back. And then also take a look at your tree as you're walking around campus if you get a chance, and see how your tree's adapting in the next couple weeks. And again, we'll revisit that when we return in week 6. Have a good week, and I'll see you on video next week.